I don't know what this building was for. Could have been a school for all I know. It wasn't a school, it was someone's home. Look at that ceramic stove. Wonder if you loaded fuel in from the outside. Might well have been a cistern. Very practical way to do it. Actually, to bury that in the ground. Never thought about that. No idea what this statue is for. Pretty old houses. Some of what you might well see in some of the towns we've been in. And perhaps older than these. We're going to leave my Stelius, that little part where the gold square is over on the left middle. We're going to walk across the pond that's to the almost due east of it, and then follow that road and get over here to Oxdale Villas, whatever that is on the far right. And then when I'm done, theoretically, I should be able to walk my way out here. It's not too terribly far. Pick up the bus. A great deal of redundancy. How to make all of this interesting, I don't know. Or maybe it's so big, those who know just focus on something of particular interest to them. But I don't know what that would be. All this seems to be the same. Now where are all those people? That's where I'm going. This is interesting only in that it uses this thatch wall, at least on that portion of the building. Otherwise it's the same. This looks more humorous than anything else. Here we've got all this area here, and then over there, and the freeways to our right. Slab wood roof. Interesting. Oh, this would have been a blacksmith shop. Now we enter into this little village type place. Probably some livestock feeding bins of some sort. The obligatory religious post. Maybe this indicates the village's religious preference. Here, massive log house. No, it's big logs at the bottom, smaller ones at the top, which kind of makes sense. Small cabins over here, probably for livestock. Many generations of families might live in these places. Very large room. Notice probably used for many functions, including sleeping. Why not? The middle for cooking. Maybe processing some of the product they made in that large stove, which protected the building above. And again, was this used? It looks like it with the wood, dirt floor for the processing of something. Over there, looms, it looks like. Weaving here. Interesting stool. Churns. You wonder what those big tubs were for. Guessing this was for feeding animals, or maybe just storage. Yeah. First I thought it might have been a sauna. The different treatment of these, what look like professionally, or at least mechanically, turned pillars. A large barn with a very massive entryway, relatively speaking. Interesting, some kind of a thrashing machine using a huge wheel. I've never seen anything like that before. Notice it has these triangular wedges. And this contraption here. So my guess is that they put something up around in here somewhere. And then ran this thing around. Interesting, did it? Maybe it fell through and then they cleaned up what was underneath. I've never seen this before. Presumably an animal could push that thing in this circle. It's interesting. Oh, this looks like it's for doing something. Like you can see breaking up that material there, plant material. See, this is diamond shaped here. That's got a diamond groove in it, and it probably chops like that. Whether it chops or whether it just mangles, I don't know. Notice the tripod, and notice that the hinge is a wood dowel. Here's some more of those deals. So they must have been a pretty important device. Combing out either material or too much for animals. I don't know. Interesting, isn't it? Not those paddle-like devices. I don't know what those vertical posts were for, because they're very purposely and cleverly installed into that wall. That's a pretty good woodworking to create a firm base with a hole in it for that shaft. I wonder what this little building is for, that they purposely worked to get it down at this spot. Having just gone to the bathroom beside that building, I just noticed this little building, which is, guess what? The building is interesting because it has an open interior, which has a lot of practical value. So it was probably a collection of several buildings put together cleverly by the owner. Imagine the work that sleigh has done. Imagine the days that a man worked, and maybe his wife with him, with that sleigh outside in the cold snow, waiting to get home for lunch and relishing that moment. Notice the use of iron there. Some kind of interesting hardware. This thing, some kind of vine plant will grow up that. Those are pretty tall, but look at, they're working their way up already. Notice that sturdy rock for tying up a horse. I thought this building might have something to do with this source of water over here, and it may. It does. We didn't have access to that, but this is a very important building because it's one of those huge mills that provided what to them was the ultimate source of power. Buying and installing that was one considerable investment, I suspect. We'll loop through this complex, and then hopefully we can find our way out that way to the highway, which I can hear. What a beautiful old wooden church this is. For the people that believed this was one great achievement. And notice all of the different totems that have been collected here on display. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people would have given the sign of the cross, either all throughout their lives, to one or more of these. They buttress these corners with stone. Some probably gravestones or grave markers made out of iron. See if we can find dates like 1879, 1878. Wonder what that balcony would have been used for.